Welcome guys, welcome back to another video. And today we are gonna be reacting to the problems with Monden SMG4 characters. And if you don't know what SMG4 is, he's basically a YouTuber who makes funny content but he's ending. Yep. Anyway, just keep watching.
Out of all the SMG4 characters, these particular 5 have had problems with their development over time into modern day SMG4 videos. Starting with one of the most hated SMG4 characters in general, Meggy, who actually used to have more redeemable qualities before her downfall in more recent videos. She was first introduced in the SMG4 universe in the video SMG4 If Mario Was in Splatoon as a very competitive but kind character who perfectly fit together with Mario's goofy antics, eventually forming a bond with him and growing to be one of the main SMG4 crew members. But with the videos she was included in during this older era, including the 2017 Christmas Discovery, considered by many as her best appearances on the channel, things would only go downhill from there. After completing her very own character arc in 2020, SMG4 fans would notice a difference in her following appearances. For starters, she would go from an overall more balanced character to what was described as one with increasingly worsening anger issues, completely reversing one of the main qualities that originally made her well liked in the first place. With her role in videos such as SMG4 The New Castle and SMG4 A Happy Little Road Trip, it was also becoming increasingly noticeable how frequently her bad qualities were coming out. Not only was she incredibly overused to the point of overshadowing the development of other characters, but this use of her character at the time would also commonly be described as way too developed in a bad way that led her to become annoying. She always acts dominant around Mario and thinks she knows better than him, mostly using him as a punching bag, showing a huge difference from their deeper friendship highlighted in Meggy's earlier appearances. And while Mario was a much better friend at times, there was still a big problem that would come up with his role in more modern SMG4 videos. You see, while Mario started out at the beginning of the channel as a lovable, silly goofball, his ridiculousness, along with his well-rounded personality, is what made him so popular in the earlier days of SMG4. In examples like Mario goes to the fridge to get a glass of milk, he was praised as the best part of the video for what was described as the fact that he could take anything simple and still cause chaos while doing it, cementing Mario's role as the wacky but creative troublemaker on the SMG4 channel. But as the years went on with this positive reputation, something changed. SMG4 fans called out the aftermath of the War of the Fat Italians 2021 as the big turning point for how Mario was used on the channel for 2 specific reasons. For starters, from this point onwards, the previously mentioned creative and sensible side to the character that tied some of the older stories together was essentially removed. Mario's role in the videos began to be commonly replaced with our second reason behind his change. He was slowly transforming into a sort of punching bag to multiple other characters, with Meggy specifically being the main one to torment him with little reasoning behind why she was doing it in the first place. And if Mario was spared of this torment for an episode, there was also the possibility of him being the jerky one himself in more recent appearances, a trait that none of my subscribers have cause they're the best. But with videos like The Day My Arm Went Psycho, it was easy to see why the dynamic between Mario and Meggy was frequently described as hard to watch. Throughout 2022, Mario has been tormented and blamed for it. This is complete crap. Mario deserved better, way better. And as sad as this fate for the character ended up being, this next character was described as receiving even worse treatment in the SMG4 videos, Princess Peach. Compared to her origins on the channel, things would heavily change for the occasionally stern but respectful character that was shown to us in videos like Super Mario 64 bloopers, Hotel Mario. Even with Mario burning down Peach's entire castle here during his typical wacky meltdown, she still offered kindness in return after Mario let her stay in his house instead. Kindness that would continue all the way up until 2019. You see, it was at this time that a specific arc was beginning to take form on the SMG4 channel. Leading up to this arc, in the video SMG4 Boys vs. Girls, it was starting to show how Peach's role in the series as a whole was beginning to change. Her only appearance was essentially being bossy towards Mario for seemingly no reason. And fast forwarding through her later appearances over the years proved how this naggy, controlling side to her would only continue to grow as time went on. How Peach was treated as a character starting in 2019 makes me so mad. They turned her from an actual good, funny character to a nagging one who was screaming all the time and really annoying. Which went even further in one of the more recent SMG4 movies, It's Gotta Be Perfect, where it was shown how Peach's downfall as a character had evolved into a pure disregard for her entirely. After essentially getting her entire home permanently destroyed and taken from her, she was essentially ignored by the SMG4 crew who revisit her in SMG4 Let's Go Visit Peach, just to get the power star for their new castle instead. They don't consider it important to check on her in any way despite literally ruining her life at the time, which truly highlighted her misuse as the eventual punching bag type of character similar to Mario's involvement in more modern day SMG4 content. A sort of misuse that would continue until her removal entirely later on. But the opposite of removal happened in the case of our next character. SMG3 was arguably given even more of a role following his massive change from classic to modern SMG4 videos. Starting out as a jealous SMG4 clone character who is loved by many, SMG3 would go on to essentially be the Ice King of the SMG4 universe, with his goofy, silly schemes to take down SMG4 backfiring in the most satisfying way. His continuous villain role in classics like SMG3's plan to destroy SMG4 because he feels like it and Orbital Adventures would earn him widespread support, praising him as the best SMG4 villain and always will be. I don't care about other villains, he was the ultimate villain. But obviously, as his character continued to develop, it was becoming clear how another side to SMG3's character was popping up. The SMG4 movie Revelations and the arc leading up to it was starting to show SMG3 as a more caring character in certain situations. Along with putting his differences with Mario and SMG4 aside in order to help them save the universe, SMG3 sacrificed his beloved friend Terrence for a good cause as well. Actions that would slowly lead to his refined role as a support character to SMG4 and his crew, rather than a villain. SMG3 had successfully transitioned into one of the main good guy characters. And while this changed and well thought out character arc was admired by many, there was also a large group of the SMG4 fanbase who was against the change. With how loved the character was as a villain, the narrative that SMG3 had softened up was starting to spread. He was better as a villain. That's what he even wants to be, even to this day. The episode You Used to Be Cool shows it pretty well, when he would only do the most minimal of annoyances rather than be a true terror, showing how there were definitely mixed arguments coming from this big change SMG3 slowly went through. And while the reaction to this character's change was a lot more mixed, SMG4 as a character was a different story. While originally being praised as a good balancing counterpart to Mario's wackiness in earlier videos, SMG4 would go on to lose his more positive reputation as a character in later story arcs. In the Perfection arc specifically, SMG4 was shown to be taken over by jealousy and recklessness. In SMG4 Are You Okay?, he was shown to value his content above all else, mistreating other characters and causing big problems in the process. This overall change causes SMG4 to develop a more selfish and apathetic side to himself, even willing to torment his friends in the process to make videos in some episodes. And with this side to the character growing in videos like SMG4 Let's Go Visit Peach, with SMG4 completely disregarding Peach after literally destroying her home as previously mentioned, it was clear this character was changing for the worse compared to his appearances in the classic era of the SMG4 channel. But it turns out there was actually a big problem with this classic era of content as well. The fact that with the entirety of SMG4 content coming to an end later this year, there were still 5 big leftover mysteries from the past that were never fully revealed on the channel yet, with the secret castle door, the second floor of the castle, and even a strange reappearing Shadow Man. We still needed answers towards what was going on with these mysteries. And I'm actually able to bring some of these answers to you in a explain everything you need to know about them in this video right here. So for what we know about these big...
And yep, that's it for the video. And make sure you like and subscribe. Bye bye.